Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the Future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor podcast.
But yeah, enough of that stuff. Why don't we get into like what we like to do around here? You know what I'm saying? It's that time to talk about The Bachelor on our show. Yes, but YouTube, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop new Bachelor content, just like this. And if you just did, huge shout out to you. Woo-wee. Air horns for you. You know, we have to shout out our comment crew, the Nancy Drew crew, of course, Catherine Ann, Chelsea Allen, Kathleen Kent, Marion SP. What up? We have some new people in the comment section. Beth Wanger. I'm going to say that. Wenger. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I don't know. Let me know how I'm saying it in the comments for the next video so I can shout you out properly. But what's up, Beth? Welcome to the crew. And then Jared or... Yeah, I'm going to say Jared or Gerard, Orla, you too, man. Let me know. I want to be saying people's names right if they're going to be part of the crew, you know. So shout out to you guys for leaving comments. You know, I really appreciate it. We love, you know, responding back to you guys and, you know, keeping the conversation going week to week. So if you like to shout out on a show, just, you know, leave a comment below. Just tell us, you know, you subscribed. Let us know that you're new here, or, you know, say what's up to the rest of the crew. Everyone's really cool. And yeah, we'll give you a shout out in the next episode. So it's as easy as that. But V, why don't we get into this week's episode of The Bachelor? It's week 6 and we're in Estonia.
Estonia.
Yeah, that's hard for me to get out, but I got it. Week 6, where do we start? What an episode.
So we're in Estonia. Jesse and Zach are in a little coffee shop doing a little rundown on the ladies that are left. And, you know, Zach's saying nice things about each of them, about how they've either surprised him or he's like feels like, you know, good connections with them. I think my favorite one that he talks about is Jess being like, there's something from the moment she got out of the limo, and like the only thing I could think of is that it's all of her body glitter that caught, because he's like, something caught my eye.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's the glitter. So
that's what glitter is for, buddy.
Yeah, glitter is it's the glitter. But in a strange twist of fate, Greer now has COVID. I don't know how that happened. But so she's isolated all episode and is supposedly asymptomatic. But, you know, they gotta do what they gotta do because they can't have this run rampant throughout the rest of them. You would think they would have like maybe checked in on her or something, like done like a little like, oh, like her doing like a little video, because I feel like that's like something they've done.
They needed to give Greer a break. She was like, probably going to go do something like Jess did this episode or something. So good for her. She got like a day off or something. Probably got to get like some room service and chill in a hotel and just relax. Get away from it all.
Just vibe. She wasn't even in on any of the drama that we're going to get into. But
yeah. I mean that's good, because I mean we're right now looking for who's going to be the villain of the show right now as the weeks dwindle down, and we found our villain.
We did. So, you know, all the women are excited. It's going to be a week back to normal dates with Zach. People are obviously clamoring for a one-on-one, as they tend to do. And so that first date card comes out, and lo and behold, it's for Charity, saying, let's make up for lost time. So everybody's excited because like Charity definitely got shafted the most out of everybody. And so she's getting... Which I feel bad. Charity kind of keeps getting shafted in different ways, because so she does finally get her one-on-one date. She's all excited. They're all like ready to rock and roll. She looks beautiful. All the girls are like complimenting her. Like, she's a beautiful girl. And then, you know, Zach comes in. They're all excited to see Zach. And he does give all of them a hug, which I think is nice. Obviously, they haven't seen him in a while. He gives everyone a hug, ends with Charity. It's a whole thing. And then Kat immediately asks if she can like see him for a second. Grabs him as if it is a cocktail party. As if it's not like he's just there to pick up Charity and like get the heck out of there. And so like they go into the hallway and they chitty chat about how she missed him, and then they smooch. Which
Yeah.
I can't blame this all on Kat either.
No.
Zach's lips definitely made a move towards hers.
Yeah,
that was a consensual.
I mean, she's hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to go for it. But, you know, knowing that, like, Zach's not going to get the blowback, you know, it's fair game for him. But, you know, it's just kind of crazy. Like, it's not a good move, I don't think. Like, if you're going to do this, you have to go full villain. Like, you know? You
got, and then you have to admit that this was a bad thing, which Kat obviously is not going to do. But I think it was interesting because, like, yes, I get the whole idea of, like, this is a show. You got to, like, look out for yourself, whatever. And I think it's interesting that in some of, like, the side, like, interviews, you hear, like, Allie and some of the other girls being all, like, of course, like, all of us want to, like, do that, want to have, like, some alone time with Zach. But we're not going to do that before he's about to head on a date with Charity, when Charity, especially since Charity already got shafted, like, the week before. Like, we're not going to do that because it's disrespectful. It's rude. Like, it's definitely not, like, there's a way to be strategic on getting your time. And I think Kat just totally did this the wrong way.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I agree. Like, you know, she already had her one-on-one date, you know, so it's like just totally kind of disrespectful. Like, it's almost like you can have them now, like, after, like, I've already
like, have a good date. Like, I gave him his goodbye kit. It's like almost like she's like his mom being all like, now, giving him permission.
Yeah, and it's just like it's a shitty move, like, you know, especially if you're considering being, you know, fair, like, on days like this, because, like, it's just kind of tainted the day. Like, wouldn't it would totally get in my head, you know, before a date
or
like
Charity,
that.
Like, of course you could tell she's a little bit perturbed when Kat takes her, and she's like, but Charity's kind of like trying not to, like, rock the boat. She's definitely the kind of girl that's, like, too nice, where Brooklyn's all like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, Brooklyn's, like, not gonna hold back.
Yeah, I mean, we've already known that about Brooklyn, that he said that in the beginning of the episode.
Said it. She's a straight shooter.
Yeah. So she's shooting straight at Kat. You know, they head off for their date, and Brooklyn, you know, gives Kat, like, a piece of her mind immediately.
Yeah, she definitely does. Like, they make that's only the beginning, because they definitely get more into it on the group tape. But, like, Brooklyn's all like, you know, like, what was that about? Like, obviously this is Charity. And I think it was interesting because, like, at that moment, I feel like Kat was all like, why are you guys ruining this moment for me? And it's like, it wasn't your moment. That was not your moment. That was Charity's moment that you ruined. Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean? And, like, all the women are talking about it back at there. And, like, I think it was
because all of them want to do that, but they're all being respectful of, like, the day.
Right. Like, yeah, there's plenty of other opportunities to do that kind of action, and that was just not the right time. And, like, when they're on the date, like, they're back at the hotel talking about it and whatever, and, like, you know, people are upset, and, like, Kat's trying to, like, make her case to Ariel, being all like, well, like, if it weren't for the whole COVID thing, or, like, whatever, like, I probably wouldn't have done it, or, like, this, that, or whatever. And, like, Ariel's like, but you did. Mm-hmm. You did it. Like, this is something, like, you can't take back what you did. Like, it's, you either gonna, like, stand by your actions, which she half did, or you're gonna like be like, I fucked up. And, like, you can't have both. You gotta either stick to your guns and, like, say, you know, and either say sorry or don't. Like, and you could tell she's, like, already flitting between what makes sense for her to do. Yeah. But meanwhile, Charity and Zach are having a great day, exploring Estonia, riding on horse and carriage, going to a wife carrying contest where Zach carries Charity over his back like a rag doll, which looked a little scary to me, to be honest. I was impressed how fast he ran around that course carrying her on her back, but, like, it looked like she was like a fake dummy on his back. Then they go to a weird outpost that looked like it was out of Frozen, try some Estonian ale, and then they just make out in the square a bit, like, with Zach saying wow weirdly and awkwardly, being all, like, after their mid-smooch, which I'm like, great, but, like, we don't need to be grading the smooches mid-smooch.
Yeah, I kind of faded out during this part.
It definitely, like, the entirety of their date wasn't, like, super interesting, especially since we're getting it interspersed with, like, the girls discussing the drama back at the hotel. So I would say it was pretty pretty run-of-the-mill, happy, good date. Like, I think Charity's definitely a front runner. At their dinner, you know, she talks about how she had been cheated on and how so she, like, you know, never really knew her worth in a relationship because she wasn't treated as such, which is, you know, I hate to say, tale as old as time on this show. But, you know, she is the most beautiful crier I've ever seen on this show. She just, like, when she cries, it's, like, insane. It's like, I'm like, wow, if I looked that pretty crying, that would be insane. Because I would get away with everything in this world, but I don't. So more maybe people just try to get me to stop because they're like, whoa, Jesus, it's getting too far. But yeah, so, you know, she gets her rose. They have a beautiful date. They seem to be vibing. Things are good shape.
Yeah, I honestly, did no one ever have like a decent relationship before? Like, I just feel like every single dinner, like Zach has to deal with
be honest. Like, if you're going on a reality TV show to date somebody to potentially find your, like, spouse, do you really, I feel like you have to be at a point of, like, all right.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, you're just like a pretty person that can be on TV, and you're like looking like to see, like, I haven't found luck yet, you know, for my forever, but like, let's try it this way. But to be honest, it's just like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it's not a good look. Like, you know, I don't know. Like, Zach, I guess, kind of handles it well each time and stuff. But like, it's like, why are you, I mean, it's not just their fault. I think it's two ways. Like, you know, it just seems like, I mean, I don't know the context of everyone's relationships, but it's just like, why are you getting into these toxic relationships? Every single one of them, like, you know, and it's just like, it's kind of, I don't know if I would say it's a red flag, but like, it's like, I don't know, like, you know, how could this affect, you know, our stuff moving forward? Like, are you completely done with your ex, or like, are you know, it just seems like it's always about like the ex, you know, this. Well,
I think like the way that the show is made is it's like a vacuum to like release that like relationship trauma immediately in a way that I feel like would come out not like that in a normal relationship. Like, I mean, I think everybody has their own sets of relationship trauma to a degree. I mean, that could be romantic relationships, or that could be, you know, some of them have like their mommy and daddy issues that affect their romantic relationships, or, you know, other things. So I think, but the way that the show is operated is it gets let out in like a very, you know, extremes, because that's the only way we're going to be able to see it. Where I feel like over a normal relationship, you know, you would kind of have more gradual conversations about things in your past or things or like whatever. And, you know, you would hope that people are working on things to like heal and work through things so that they don't repeat those cycles, or that, you know, they're with a partner that wants that, you know, they're both together working towards a common goal. So I think that's obviously the difference from a real relationship.
Yeah. So we are back at the house for a group date, right? Or
yes.
They announced the group date.
They announced the group date, and Jess freaks out because she's the last one to get a one-on-one. She's like, I haven't gotten a one-on-one yet. And they're all like, Greer hasn't either. And they're like, and she's like, well, Greer has COVID, so she doesn't matter. And so like, but she's like having like a full meltdown. Meanwhile, as they're all like getting ready to like head out to this, and Charity's back from her date and everything, like, you know, Kat hints at like how she should probably fix some stuff between her and Charity. She's like, but I just don't want to get into it because I don't want to ruin the vibe for our date today. And Brooklyn's all like, oh, you don't want to ruin a vibe of somebody's date? Crazy concept, girl. Because like,
which
and she's
was
like,
pretty nice. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was all like, get it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like honestly, like the hypocrisy. Like, what are we talking about here, Kat? Yeah. Like, you don't want to, no, because you're uncomfortable. You just don't want to be uncomfortable. You were super comfortable ruining Charity's day, but it's uncomfortable if you have to like actually face the music. So like, of course you're gonna be like, and Brooklyn's all like, nah, and she's like, you're coming at me. Like, why are you coming at me, Brooklyn? Because like Brooklyn's all like, that's what you did was tacky and classless. Like, you're gonna like, you should have the like, you should be able to apologize to Charity and whatever. And she's like, why are you coming at me? Like, these are you're like hurting my feelings. And Brooklyn's like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm literally just telling you what you did. And like, if the shoe fits, lace it up. And I was like, damn. And I was like, damn, I'm going to have to use that sometime because that's good. That's
yeah,
good
no,
work.
I think, what was the relationship with her ex, Brooklyn's ex? Because I feel like she is like, whatever,
he was
like
the abusive one.
Yeah, whatever fighting they were doing, like she like knows how to like really come back with like, quick, comebacks. Like, I'm just like, damn, like
I know.
she just really like is fast with it, And Kat is just not ready for that.
Because Kat isn't ready to like actually like fess up to like what she did, being like sort of like, she's very much so being all like, but what about me? And they're all like, yeah, bitch, we get it. Like, we all are out here trying to look out for ourselves, but also like, what the fuck? Like, there's still like, have some tact. Like,
yeah, there's nothing unique about her situation, you know? So totally. But
they go off to the woods and do like love rituals with a witch who looks very familiar to like a witch from, I think, Clayton's season. And I don't know if maybe it's just a requirement that if you're known as a witch on this show, you have to have like curly hair with like streaks of color in it, because that's definitely what the other one looked like. But definitely interesting to me. And they're doing all these different like love rituals. And at one point they're all like going around, they have to hold a candle with Zach and stare into his eyes. And when it comes to Jess's turn, they're doing it and her flame goes out. And she's all like, literally out of her mind. She's like, what am I good? Like, this means something. This means something.
It does.
She's already like, I'm last for one-on-ones. Like, I was last on the card. Like, my flame blows out. Like, I'm like, I don't want to go home, but like, blah, 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 blah. So we get to the cocktail party for this date. And everybody else is having like Gucci, normal conversations, having a gay old time, having a great time. They play the most dramatic fucking music as Zach is coming out to be like, Jess, can I have you for a sec? Because it's her turn to talk to him. And like, it's just like, it feels like a horror movie. Like and then their whole conversation was much like Bailey's and his, where it feels like they didn't actually ever say anything real to each other, and then all of a sudden, Jess is going home.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough because they definitely like showed Jess keep saying like one-on-one, like even before talking to Zach, which I was just like, come on, just stop like talking about it, Right. It's just it's either gonna happen or it's not gonna happen, and it's like not the end of the world, like And that was what's funny to me, because she ends up like leaving like kind of on her own terms. It was like sort of, yeah, she like half sent herself home because she was all like, I don't want to go home. I don't want to like blah, blah, blah. And then he, they're talking and he's like trying to convince her that like her not having a one-on-one yet isn't that big of a deal, because it isn't. And he's all like explaining to her why, like, things are the way that he's doing it. He's like, I got to do it kind of my own way. And then she still is like hammering it home. It's like not computing to her. And then what she's trying to say to him, he's not understanding. So he goes from being like, I'm confident about us, to then like minutes later in what we see, which could be longer than that, being all like, this disconnect, I'm not confident in us. And then she's pretty much says, I told you I'm not going to like beg, like I'm not going to fight like for your love. Like I want you to fight for me, which I'm like, that is the wrong way to go about this. Like that is literally not how this show works. I mean, I kind of feel her on that though. Like, I do. But that like kind of, because it is. I mean, this far into the season, if you haven't gotten a one-on-one, it's not a good look. Like, she just is making a bigger deal of it than she probably should. Well, and I think this season it's been especially known that it's not a good look, because every time, like even when he talks with like Kat and like whatever, every time
that they talk with somebody who had just been on a one-on-one or had been on a one-on-one before, they always emphasize like, oh, well, like, you know, it's been a while since I was in a group setting. So like, it feels different. It feels weird. So of course, like all these girls that haven't been on one-on-ones are going to be all like in their head being all like, oh, these other girls keep acting like being on this group date is like such a weird, crazy thing. Like,
yeah. And also like, I mean, let's talk about Kat for a little bit in her conversation with Zach. Like, Zach kind of confronts her about her being weird on the date, which she doesn't really kind of like own up to, like, because I think she feels like she you know, I don't know. I was trying to understand what was going on there, but he's like, something's off. And she's like, I didn't feel that way, but like, why wouldn't you just say it? Be like, you know, when I kissed you, it set off like the girls. Like, I just feel like she was like,
I think she knows that like how he gets with the whole drama bit. And I think she was trying to save herself because she's all like, if she even brought that up, like it would just, I think she was also trying to see if she could get that group date rose or whatever. She didn't want to mess with the vibe of, you know, potentially getting a rose or getting whatever.
But she inadvertently messed with the vibe, like, you know?
I mean, yeah, she did.
So
she had already messed with the vibe. The vibe had been messed with.
Yeah. I mean, I really do wonder. It's just like one of those things where it's like, it's hard not to think of yourself and see how everyone's kind of dealing with the same thing. But, you know,
right.
oh man. You know, she's just going after what she wants, though, and it's just like a whole...
She is, but I think then you have to like. I feel like when Christina was on the show, still, she sort of was going after what she wanted. She didn't have tact in a different way. She was all like acting entitled in a different way, and I feel like there has to be an area in between of like how Christina acted and how Kat's acting, where Kat is acting like she's oblivious to like how this could impact people and like being all like, what do you mean? What about my feelings? Where like Christina was all like, whatever, like I'm here, like I'm not really here to make friends, like that kind of stuff. And I feel there has to be an in-between of like doing you and then also like, you know, just doing but being smart about it. And I feel like obviously people who do well on the show do that. Like I feel like Charity inherently isn't trying to involve herself in the drama and she's doing well. And then, you know, I feel like Katie is doing well because like she's just doing her thing and isn't like getting wrapped up in any of the drama either. So I think there's like, you got to like run that really thin line.
What's her name? Is it Gabby?
Gabby, yeah.
Yeah, even Gabby, like there's a point where, well, that's later on. But let's talk about the one-on-one with Ariel. So she gets the one-on-one.
Yeah, because no group date rose is given out because the whole Jess thing set him off. So
she ends up going home. And you know, probably good for her, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, was a weird ending, but I think it's probably for the best for both of them. But Ariel, honestly, we're team Ariel here at Future Bachelor.
I mean, if she doesn't win, I don't know, like, you know, she's just so great because
she's great. She's funny. She's real. She's beautiful. This was the perfect date for her.
I don't know if it was the perfect date for her, but I loved when she showed up and she's like, oh, I thought it was Jersey. Like, she's just like completely, that's her like defense mechanism, is just to be funny, which when she's nervous, she's going to be funny. And calm. Like, she's just so like, you know,
she's chill.
Yeah, she's chill. But you know what I did? I just felt like, you know, Ariel, you know, has got the body and stuff like that. I felt like they just wanted to get her like in a bathing suit or something like that. And I'm not sitting here complaining. It just felt like very like, you know, looked like she was uncomfortable. You know, I think she said she was like, you know. Right.
And I think obviously, so they go to the Estonian sauna. They do like the little bit beforehand where they're beating each other with leaves. And then they go into the sauna. Technically, it's a nude sauna. And they're in there with clothes, which, you know, in past seasons, I think it was Peter's season, was when they did the nude bungee jumping. But you know, they don't do any of that. They have a nude couple come in and talk to them for a while in the sauna. I kind of felt like Ariel and Zach's behavior was a little immature at first with how they were like, oh, wow. Like when it's like it's a nude sauna. Like this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're the weird ones with clothes on.
Yeah, like I think it was hilarious that later when they're in the hot tub, that same couple joins them in the hot tub. Like, what is going on? But they like when it gets to the dinner portion, like they definitely are vibing, and Zach keeps saying like off to the side, like interview camera, and even to her, like how she's been like the best kind of surprise, and like I really think. She's a dark horse. She's a sleeper hit. I think she's going to be in the top 4 for sure. I don't really know if she's got enough to like take her over Katie, because I feel like he's really vibing with Katie. But
Katie's cool and pretty and stuff. I don't know. They're like, I don't know. I really like Ariel. Like,
I really like Ariel. And I could tell like at the end, she's talking about how. She even like talks about how she uses humor and stuff as her defense mechanism. And like at the end with the interview, you could tell there's a little bit of pain in her eyes because she's all like, I just don't want to be alone anymore. I'm tired of being alone, which to me felt like a mini Bachelorette edit. So I wonder, but I mean, I just want the best for Ariel. I don't even care if it's Zach. I just want the best for her. So
I could see it. Yeah, I mean, they definitely have a lot of people that could be Bachelorette here, but I could see that happening. So yeah, I mean, so she gets the rose, and we come back, and Zach
cocktail
is just
party,
happy
rose ceremony
because
time.
after the night he just had, Ariel was definitely a better day for him after that night. So
right,
yeah, we get to the cocktail party. Before the rose ceremony and what goes down.
So it looks like, I'm trying to remember exactly how it all came about, but like Kat and Charity are like, it looks like Kat's trying to start to talk to Charity, and then like Brooklyn comes over.
Yeah. So what it looked like to me is that like Charity probably like has conversations with people and stuff about how like it wasn't cool. They're going to have a talk about it or whatever like that. And, Brooklyn's probably on the side of like, no, that's messed up. Like you shouldn't just let her like do that. But
yeah, like don't let her off easy. Like Brooklyn's like trying to like protect Charity and being all like, stand up for yourself. And like she comes in.
And Charity definitely is going to be probably let it roll off her back if like she gets an apology, She's
a little bit more timid. That's for sure.
So it seems like it's going to go fine until Brooklyn comes up and kind of like throws gasoline on the fire again.
And like Kat just storms out pretty much. Yeah,
she's like, I don't want to put up with this shit. She's like, just walks out. And even Charity says something about it. Like, why do you have to like leave? Like, maybe Charity just did want the backup.
Yeah, Charity's all like, why did she have to storm off? Like, is that really meant for like, is that really what this is like about? Like at this point? And I agree. Like, I think it's just like Kat like can't finish the job. Like she just can't finish the job. Like she keeps like being like, we'll talk a different time, Charity. And it's like, just finish the job. Like just get it. Like you felt good enough to do what you did in front of everybody else. Like why can't you just do this now? Like, like just get it done. But
yeah, I guess she doesn't think she did anything wrong. I don't think so she doesn't want to apologize. It's as simple as like, look, I didn't mean to do that. Like, I guess I was being a little selfish in that sense, but like sometimes I think we need to be a little selfish here, but I never meant for it to be, to mess up your day. I hope I didn't, I just really like him and I know you do too. So it's just like, my bad. I'm sorry. And then it could be over with, be like, Brooklyn, I appreciate you for standing up for people and stuff like that. But like, I don't want beef. Just people don't want to lose. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just don't want to lose. And
I think Kat really doesn't want to like, she doesn't want to back down because she really, you're right. She doesn't think that
she probably doesn't have to back down a lot in her life. Like, she's, a beautiful woman that just like, in her everyday life, she probably, gets what she wants. So, but we got a lot of beautiful ladies here, so it's a little harder in this situation.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much what happens at the rose ceremony or the cocktail party. You know,
That's when you were talking about this earlier, but this is when that's all happening and like that, like Kat storming off and stuff. Ariel asks if her and Gabby should go like check on her, and Gabby said, "I think it's in her best interest to not."
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I mean, exactly. Thanks for bringing that back. I when I heard that, I was just like, man, that's exactly the mindset you kind of have to be in. Like, that doesn't
Right.
concern us. It's probably not in our best interest. That's exactly like the way to put it. So, yeah, I totally see that. So we get to the rose ceremony, and you know, I didn't really know what to expect with this one.
Me neither.
And it ends up being that you know, Kat gets the last rose, which means Allie goes home. And it's, you know, they had a one-on-one date. I just think it kind of...
It just kind of fizzled between them.
Yeah.
I think she's great.
She is.
I think he liked her, but I mean, he just has stronger connections, and I think that's...
Yeah, I wonder if two people were going to go home this week.
I mean, I'm sure. And I'm sure maybe, I mean,
So that
he
means
said
Jess
that
was
he
gonna
didn't
go
see
home
that happening
anyways.
with Jess, but I wonder who would have, I wonder if maybe maybe his date with Ariel was more of like a test to see if like there was something more there. Because I feel like they'd been having fun, but I don't know.
No, I feel like Jess knew she could see the writing on the wall. And this kind of brings up my like kind of like final discussion I kind of want to have about it. But
Right.
Zach, like, what are our feelings on Zach now? Like, you know, I really went from being like he's, you know, a good bachelor to like, I don't know, like it's like his true colors are kind of starting to come out, I feel like. And it just seems like he doesn't like to be wrong. And you know, he has this very like this certain perception of what like this bachelor thing is supposed to be, and it's like it's kind of like affecting, like he doesn't feel like he's fun, like, you know, he doesn't feel like it. Just, I don't know.
I know he keeps bringing up how fun the girls are and everything, but I just feel like he is, and he keeps even, I remember when he like, you know, half dumped Brianna, and he was all like, I just feel like, you know, everything with you is so serious. But it's like, also like everything with you is so serious. Like, you know, Greer was just trying to make light conversation last week, and now like to try to be empathetic, and you know, now everything is like it's just everything feels heavy coming from him, like, you know, not giving out a group date rose and stuff like that. It feels definitely like he is almost like he's starting to get more in his head about how he's about to, like, I think he's been having fun making out with everybody. And now he's all like, oh, shit. Like,
yeah. And also, like, I just feel like he wants to be the one in control as far as like sending these girls home. Like, you know, I would have, if Jess would have stayed around, I'm kind of glad she went home in a sense, because I feel like he would have just said all that stuff to her and then sent her home anyways.
right.
You know, so it's just like weird. I don't know.
It feels like he says he knows what he wants, but I feel like he actually doesn't really know what he wants. And because he's like leading with kind of like an iron fist, being like, I know what I want, I'm gonna get, like, you know, I'm gonna be serious about it. But meanwhile, like, not actually like having sound reasoning behind all of it. Like, all of these women who have gone home like in these ways have always been like, I'm so confused, because I just feel like they're not having like full conversations. Like, I feel like he's not actually finishing a thought, because I don't really know if he knows where it's going to end, because he's like so worried about what the like outcome is. He doesn't even like fill in the middle correctly.
Right. So, you know, I think it's just going to kind of get a little harder moving down the road with like him having so many, you know, good relationships with certain these women and stuff. So it's just going to be, you know, we got a little preview of what's down the road. You know, what did we really see out of that?
So they're going to Budapest. It looks like, you know, there's Greer's coming back. We'll see what that adds to the mix. And it looks like for he like says something in reference to Fantasy Suites that he's like trying to maybe not have sex on it. And like we hear like a little Jessie voice being all like, you're going to be tempted. So I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like or why that's going to be a decision he's making, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else going on in Bachelor Nation?
Well, talking about Zach's season, I guess he did apologize that he felt like the way that he handled the conversation with Greer was a little harsh and everything like that. But also, Kaitlyn Bristowe, who actually happens to be in Atlanta right now doing like promo stuff for her wine line, thinks that Zach's COVID B-roll was done at a hotel in LA because it looked exactly like one that she said that she stayed at for Dancing with the Stars stuff. So I wonder if that's true, if they just hadn't filmed it and like they did it back when he was in LA or like used some stuff that they took when he was in LA for something else. What are you saying?
Else. Like had him like walking around the room and stuff like that?
Yeah, or like sitting in the bed with his like cup and stuff.
I wouldn't put it past them. That's cringe though.
In a mini cringe moment of Bachelor Nation, MadiPrew and her husband Grant Troutt just really continue to just be cringy because they were talking about, you know, she did like a little Q&A on her Instagram story and, you know, somebody asked like, purity, it's so hard. And she's all like, you know, did a little Bible quote, like said the whole thing, being all like, you know, like intimacy outside of a relationship is like the biggest hindrance. Intimacy within a marriage is like, you know, the greatest gift. Like we sent our friends a purity contract to keep us accountable, which like the internet went crazy over that, being all like, so are your friends supposed to just like call you up being like, hey, how's that lack of sex life going? Like, how's that supposed to work? Like what goes on? And to, like, how do you know, how do they keep you accountable? So just interesting I mean, I get
the concept of like
accountability.
Yeah. I mean, that's totally a thing. But like, I mean, I don't know. I really can't really speak on it.
Nah.
Anything else?
Anyway. No, that was it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you know, we'll be back with episode 7 of The Bachelor next week. What do you think? Like, who are you guys gunning for now? Are you Team Ariel like us? Are you like, what do you think? What do you think of Kat's decision? You know, to go in for the kiss before Charity's date. Do you think that was a good thing, you know, for her as like, you know, looking for her own love, or did she just mess up the vibes in the house? Let us know in the comments. Have you ever, you know, sent a purity contract to any of your friends? I would love to hear about it.
Yeah, how did that work?
Yeah. You know, so let us know in the comments. Let us know so we can give you a shout out. Make sure you're subscribing and giving us thumbs up because we love y'all and appreciate all the love we get. So we'll see you next week.
Future Bachelor Podcast.